Does this podcast have an HR department?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh boy. Oh, Brian.
Brian's not the HR department.
He's the producer.
He's the producer.
HR department.
Producer Brian.
Man who sleeps on the couch. You watch YouTube videos of British people vlogging about like the town that they live in,
Just,
or just
about absolutely nothing.
just because you like the way British people talk?
Yeah, well, I grew up there, so it like makes me think of home. I'm like, do you want a biscuit to my like cat?
Were you born there?
No.
Okay.
From 2000 to like 2008, I was there.
Military?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to a British school. I had like a little tie and like a little outfit. Like I could have been sexually assaulted, but I wasn't.
Snap.
So
Well, good for you for
That's
not being
upsetting.
sexually assaulted.
I wish I was. Did we start already?
Yeah.
Dang it! Since when?
I mean, I can cut it in whenever I want to. Like,
Oh,
all
that's
of this
cool.
could be podcasts. Or
Oh,
it
okay.
couldn't. You don't know.
I also appreciate you guys were ready because like a lot of times I was a guest on someone else's podcast and they like weren't ready.
Hey, I've not been ready before, or I've had you ever had like a technical difficulty when
Yeah.
you're trying to get going, and it's just like, oh god. And then imagine having a guest sitting there, like your podcast is with just you and your co-host, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys ever have guests?
No, we're
have
not
you ever?
social.
Or you're
I
unsocial?
also can't figure out how
You
to
are
put.
very unsocial. This is
I am.
like I'm very surprised you're even here because I've tried to get you on this podcast no less than 3 times.
No, you've never asked
I
me.
have totally asked. I have totally asked, and it didn't work. I remember that.
You've never asked me before in my life.
I have too.
No, you have. You're like, when are you going to do meat sweats? I'm like, don't you run the podcast? You have to ask. I'm just going to show up at your house.
I mean, that was the ask, because then you're supposed to counter back with, well, when do you want me? And
See, I don't like this like leading questions. Even how you texted me, I didn't want to bring this up, but you're just like, hey, are you free from 4 to 5? I'm like, for what? Like, so many guys do that. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, can you let me know what it's for
all
first?
right, yeah, well,
It's entrapment.
That
So
was-
if
it
I
is
say I'm
entrapment.
free, it's like, oh, for that? No, I'm not free. You know what I mean? God, fucking men.
They're the worst.
They are. Matt, thank you so much.
Tell me about it.
I mean, that was brilliant, though, right? Like, she's here.
That's true.
You are here. I mean,
That did work.
Did work.
So
Did work because it
so
got you
far batting
intrigued.
100.
Got you intrigued.
Yeah.
You were like, what the fuck does he want?
But is it rude if I ask? Because I feel like
No,
I'm
it's
being
not rude.
rude.
I don't think it's rude to ask.
Okay.
Like, yeah, what do you want me to be free for?
Okay.
I
Like-
will answer those questions with it depends. It absolutely 100% depends. Like I may have something scheduled. If what you say is something better, I'll cancel that other thing.
For sure, yeah.
Like I don't want to hang out with my kids. Are you kidding me? Like, but if it's a podcast, you can go fuck yourself too. I'd rather hang out with my kids.
Right.
It would. Like, yeah.
Yeah, people do that with shows. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing this day?" I'm like, "What show is this?" But I don't want to ask because it's like they know that I don't want to do it. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to like weed. I'm just not free on any Friday ever.
Oh,
Sorry.
I just don't answer those people's messages.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how famous fucking Bill is now.
I'm glad people are
Skew.
messaging you guys to do shows. That's so fucking sweet. Let me know how to get that level of
Because I'm
success.
fully booked for the next 3 months. I'm so sorry.
Jesus, must be rough. Actually, you have been like literally just crushing it everywhere you go.
Not really. I like it's spaced out. I
Come
also
on,
like to decompress.
you work a lot. You
Like
work
like once a month or once every 2 months.
at this stage in the game. That's really good. Like
hope
if
so.
if you're working once a month at minimum and you're going to a club and doing sets like you are,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
But also because it's like, not to bring up like the woman thing, but it's like a smaller pool for them to choose from. Do you know what I mean? They're
No,
like
I hear-
a few months,
I
and then
understand
they're like,
that.
okay, we got to throw another one in. And there's like, what, 6?
You're saying it's harder for men than stand-up
It
comedy?
is.
Especially white men?
It is. People like hate you guys.
Oh my God! Give me a high five. Actually, we need to all high five. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
we can-
real.
We can do it together.
dude. Where the
Let's
fuck?
touch hands.
That's so real though. Like, and it's a douchey thing to say, or it's supposed to make you feel douchey to say.
Yeah.
That like being do we
Just
deserve it?
Stop it, Bill. Just
Do we
stop
deserve it?
talking now.
Well, I
Take
don't
the win and back the fuck out.
I don't understand the aggression. Like, oh, like straight white men, cis white men, and blah, blah. It's like, what did
mean-
they do to you? Like that guy particularly? Like, what did he
Yeah.
do to you?
Well, that's what it is. It's like it's a people person argument, you know? Like you're judging a person based on your opinion of people.
yeah, which
you
is
know?
what they don't want you to do to them.
Exactly.
But it's perfectly fine.
But it's perfectly fine in the converse. And you find that a lot not to sound like a right-wing fucking asshole, but you find that a lot in a lot of liberal subcultures.
I'm starting to hate liberals. Let's talk about this.
I mean, honestly,
I'm pretty liberal, but now I'm like, I don't know. You guys are in too much.
I'm extremely liberal. I grew up listening to NPR. You know what I mean? Like that, like I've carried that forever, like being extremely, extremely liberal.
Yeah.
And like it's true. Like I'm getting more and more disgusted with like both sides of every fucking thing.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it's like you can't sit here and preach how much better than you are and then act exactly like the thing you're preaching against.
Exactly.
'Cause that's hypocrisy.
Because then what happens is those other people all of a sudden are right about you.
Yeah.
And they will never have to change anything as long as you're doing something that makes them right.
Exactly. They just want to be right for
Exactly.
like no reason. It's
Exactly.
Like, and those fucking ladies, I'm like, are you guys happy? Like hating every man who like talks to you? Fucking pussies.
Fucking yeah, let's get them.
I mean, that's what it is though. And honestly, like I had a really good like constitutional law, like poli-sci prof at my college. And so like I've since that age of like being a drunken idiot, like I've kind of looked like moderately at everything in the world. And it's just like, 'cause there's no black and white. There's none. Like fucking you watch fucking shows like Game of Thrones and they show you duality in mankind, and that's what we all fucking
Right.
have.
This is a long road you took just to talk about the Game of Thrones episode this weekend.
I loved it.
Did you love it?
I did like it.
Did you see it coming?
No, I also don't like to theorize. 'Cause I'm like, just let it happen.
I'm
Yeah.
a big theorizer.
Just-
Big
It is fun.
theorizer.
I listen to all the podcasts where it's like the spoiler stuff, like about like the books, but I just like to let it happen.
Yeah.
That's been kind of like since the new season, like probably like a month before the new season started, and then through now, I've just been listening to nothing but like Game of Thrones fucking synopsises, or like I'm almost through listening to the World of Ice and Fire history book,
Oh, nice.
and there is so much crazy cool shit in there.
Yeah.
Like just like everything about, I love all the shit about like Sothorios and like the eastern lands of Essos and just all that shit where it's like it's written as like a Westeros traveling, maester
Yeah,
is account.
that's so dope.
And
That's
it's
really cool.
Yeah, so it's like kind of shrouded in mystery, but at the same time there's like little details of all these different races and shit you haven't seen in the show or the books,
that's still
up into
George
this. It's still
Writing-
George R. R.
Could you
Martin.
imagine writing that much?
He's
Like
Can't.
I can't, like I get upset every time I think I have to rewrite a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like this is like
That's
six
real.
sentences, but like I don't want to rewrite these six sentences
Yeah.
again.
I always like when people get mad at him or like the producers. I'm like, do you feel like the stress they're under? Like I couldn't handle it. Like they have ulcers. And
I
just like
I don't think he carries that stress.
Isn't he? Didn't he almost die? And people were like, "You better fucking finish that book."
He
though.
should be dead. He's just extremely overweight and old and has had all kinds of health fucking problems. To me, like, I'm very glad that I got off my, I was on strike from watching Game of Thrones, the TV show.
How strong of you.
I was. I like, because like, I watched 4 seasons and there was only 4 books. And I was like, I'm not watching any more of this TV show.
Oh, I gotcha.
Until these fucking books come out.
Yeah.
Because I want to read them before I fucking watch the book, before I watch the TV show. And then like the first season went past and I was like, fine, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
And then it got into the next season and it was like, he's never going to finish these fucking books.
But hasn't he started from like the 90s? Like a long time. Like he's been writing them for like
I
ever.
feel like it's been a minute.
I
Like a long
found out about these. I found out about the books probably 11 years ago,
Okay.
and at that point, there was 3 books out already. And a
So you
friend
could
of
like
mine,
binge read them.
yeah, I just sat down and read all 3 books, and
Yeah.
then the 4th book came out shortly thereafter, and I read that.
Mm-hmm.
But a friend of mine came back from like college. He was like, "Have you ever fucking read these books?" I was like, "I've never even heard of this person." He's like, "People are saying like he's the American J.R.R. Tolkien." And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Fuck yeah!"
I
dude."
mean, that's not far off.
It's not far off, but
I honestly feel
It's
like
not done.
I honestly feel like he's a better writer than Tolkien. Like, cause he's built the mythos, the world. He's done the same amount of like he hasn't really dived in, like Tolkien in all his writings and letters and shit, like delved into his hierarchical god structure because it was already existent within the realm, you know?
Yeah.
Because you had all the wizards and shit, and they were, you know, pretty much minor deities. So he went into a whole mythos of, you know, like angelic celestial beings, whereas Martin's kind of kept it all grounded within the world, and he's even come out and said, like, I'm not gonna do any gods, but the amount of fucking races he's put in and detail to shit like that, that's why I think he did that, where he knows he's probably gonna die, so he did the world book, he did all these other stories that people can use to then finish his. You know what I mean? And I think that's what will wind up happening.
And doesn't he hate, or not hate, but he always criticizes is it Tolkien?
Does he?
I don't know if he criticizes
I
him.
just heard like somewhere he's like, I don't want it to end like that, like all happy and like everyone's like having the best time.
Well, so that's the difference, and that's why I feel he's a better writer than Tolkien, is because there is the duality to his characters. There's you know, there's change in him. Like, you start out watching that show or reading the books hating Jaime Lannister, absolutely fucking hating him, and now.
Yeah, I watched.
How do you feel about Jaime now?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. I was like, oh, I forgot he did that. Like, and that was the whole start of the show. I was like, dang, he did throw him out the window.
He did that. He fucking put a dagger through Jury, Ned Stark's, like, you know, right hand when he was in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, he was a real prick in the first season, and then he goes through life and his character changed. Same with the Hound. You know, the Hound rides down the butcher's boy, and then him and Arya wind up becoming friends. She takes him off her death list.
Oh my god, you guys are such fucking nerds.
No, total nerds.
Welcome to our Game of Thrones podcast.
I wish I would have started that earlier, but I'm not like that into it to where I remember the names. But like, I remember watching it when it was like 2011 or something, when the show came out. Yeah. I was a freshman in college.
Is that what got you into it? Was the show?
Yeah, I think a guy that I was like trying to hit on was like, this show's great. I was like, this show's great. And then I was like, yeah, fuck that guy, I like the show. And then you like try to like match their pose, like, isn't that episode crazy? I know, right? Just stalking people.
Nobody does it. Nobody does it like a white woman.
How dare you? You haven't done that before, where like you've seen somebody like posting about something and you're like, I'll make that my interest too, and then you like,
No.
well, that's why, Bill, that you're
I've tried to tell Bill, like, this is how, like, you find out what people you like, what they like, and then you have something in common,
right?
And then you strike up a conversation. It's like, no, it's manipulative. Absolutely,
It kind of is.
It's manipulative.
100%.
See, you're mad about me
No, I'm a
fucking
psycho.
me sending open-ended fucking question messages.
That's
but
true.
no, you get to fucking stalk people and I have this Game of Thrones interest. See?
But I'm so cute at work.
This is that same
That's
fucking
true.
thing we were talking about with the liberals.
That's true.
Oh, so do as I say, not as I do.
Well, it's because I'm better than everyone.
Yeah, well, that's the same
is
thing the
true.
liberals say.
Yeah. Well, how have you like met people? Do you just like already have a common interest, or you're like, this is who I am, take it or leave it?
That's it.
Okay.
This is who I am, take it or leave it. And that's you know, probably why I'm single now.
Yeah, but in a perfect world, that's how you should do it. Because everyone's like, oh, don't play games, but everyone kind of does.
I'm to the point in my life where I've had shitty enough relationships enough times, and good relationships enough times where it just didn't work, that I'm just like, I don't need anybody to feel happy, and I don't need, you know, like, sex isn't a driving factor for me. So it's just like, I'm going to find someone who we really fucking click and gel and we want to be together and we like being together.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't want to compromise that at this point. I'm going to be 32, you know? Like,
yeah, it kind of gets old. But so when it was like a good relationship, how did you find like a point where to end it if it was good, or just...
Because it was just like, hey, you know, like, I can see that we're not really growing anymore together, and it's just like, so is it done, or, you know, what do we need to do to make it better?
Interesting.
or not better, but to continue to grow together.
Yeah.
And it was just it was just the end of it, and it had run its course, and it had been like a year and a half, and honestly, it was just like, okay, I understand. I was sad for sure, like 'cause, that's a person that's not in your life the same way anymore, but at the same time, they got to live their life, and they got to live. If it's not working together, and if it's maybe take a time apart, and if you don't feel like coming back the same way you were, that's fine. I'm still friends with that person. Like to this day, I could hit her up and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to go grab a cup of coffee?" Like, she was my first real adult relationship, where it didn't end in fucking violence or drunkenness or whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting because a lot of people like stay in those relationships and they're like, oh, well, I guess we're just gonna get married now.
Yeah.
It's like they're not in love, but they're like just okay with like the situation.
They've
Exactly.
given up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's just like, I'm not the person that's gonna sit there and either know that you're not in it like I am. Like I'm not gonna just sit there and be like, oh well, I'm not gonna say anything
Yeah.
because maybe it'll just get better. Because it won't. It never fucking will.
Yeah.
Like, that's
people
not
always
how
think that.
that's not how people work.
I feel like that's almost worse than like a super volatile abusive relationship because you can be like, okay, yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
When it's like a lukewarm kind of just like sitting there, it's harder to, I think, recognize it.
Oh, it is.
It's not like they're beating you up. But
Honestly,
it's
I didn't. That's why I put it to her, because I didn't want it. There was kids involved. There were kids involved. I was really close with the kids. Like I really liked her kids, and I kind of felt trapped because I didn't want to hurt them.
right.
So I didn't want to be like, I need to go. But I felt it. And I was just like, I kind of feel trapped here, and I don't feel like we're not getting any closer, and we're not, we're not making plans to do anything. Like, it's just kind of stalemated, and here's where we are.
Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, do you want to keep going, or is this just kind of it?
Interesting. Matt, how's your relationship going?
It's good.
Are you dating someone? I don't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's actually the healthiest, probably.
I've been in a relationship for like 4 years. Yeah,
Congratulations.
a couple breaks in between, but that kind of happens
Yeah.
when you have to look deeply at some shit that you don't want to look at.
I thought you were going to say when you're this fucking hot.
Listen, when you're as hot as I am, when you got a beard like this,
You do have a good beard.
Thank you.
And didn't you guys have who shaved the beard? You did, right? Oh.
I shaved his beard off, to be
Ooh.
technical about it.
Oh.
I took a very powerful position, and I took his facial hair.
It's on video.
But it's
on
like
video.
already grown back though.
I mean, yeah.
That was
it's
a while ago, though.
It was last
September, maybe?
Last September.
Oh, yeah, shit. That, like, just happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that. It's not. I mean, September. What is it? Fucking. That's
April.
I was
8
thinking
months.
it was the previous one
That's
because
8 months.
Oh, yeah.
I have no concept of time anymore.
Me neither. I literally think I graduated high school like a few years ago and it's almost been 10 years.
It's crazy, right?
And that's like what scares me when people are like, oh, I started this job when I was like 21 and now
Yeah.
it's been 20 years. I'm like, what were you doing the whole time?
Yeah.
But it goes so fast.
Honestly, I don't rightly know how many years I've been doing stand up.
Yeah, it kind
don't-
of just all blends.
I can't remember if it's 4, 5, or 6.
I can't really remember either. I either say 2 or 3, but I think it might be 3. I don't know.
And that's what blows my mind about these people that are like, "Yep, celebrated my 7-year anniversary in comedy." It's like, gee, have you not been doing comedy right? Like,
Yeah.
have you been sober this whole time? You fuck.
Like, yeah.
Well, I don't know how you guys do. You drink, right? After shows and before stuff?
Depends. I got into a phase where I was drinking a lot on stage, and by a lot I mean I was like 3 beers deep by the time I got on stage,
Yeah.
and I would in a 10-minute set drink a full beer.
Dang.
Yeah, and it was
strong.
that was not it, like that wasn't a good place for me to be. Honestly, I saw my stand up take a real dive. So it's just been a pullback from there at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, if you see someone doing it and they're like, they look cool, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, but they're like maybe not even that drunk, but they're kind of like presenting as, I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Honestly,
drank,
I've had success.
Yeah.
I've had some of the best success of my career. Those of you listening audio only, I
So
mean, big old,
it's a blessing to be here.
I mean big old quotation marks. But yeah, I won a Best of Festival at Big Pine.
Oh, dope.
Which was a great achievement. But I was fucking annihilated the entire weekend.
You were just.
You were
I
there
was
too.
fucking gone
Yeah,
showed.
that's
Damn it,
when
man.
that weekend is the.
That's when we
That's
came up
when
with
we-
started to do this.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's when we were like.
That's
we
when I
should
was
do
like,
this.
hey, we should fucking do this.
Yeah, he was super drunk. Else it never would have happened.
Guess what? Here we are.
I love
Fucking 2 years later.
Yeah, you guys have like a
Almost,
bunch of
yeah.
episodes. That's awesome.
We're
Yeah.
we're gearing up. So we're actually this is a nice place to announce it.
There
We're
you go.
actually gearing up at episode 100 to do a live Meat Sweats podcast
Ooh.
at Third Space
Oh, nice.
in downtown Phoenix. So that will be happening July 20th.
Nice.
If we would love to have everybody out that would love to come out. It's also my birthday, so even if you don't like the podcast, just come because you like me and it's my birthday.
It's gonna be a super fun show.
I'll give you a present
gonna be
if
a
you
lot of
come to
fun.
my birthday party.
We're gonna have some
Yeah.
comics, do some stand up. We're gonna talk to them like the podcast.
We got Dave Waite, hopefully Kelly McInerney, Luis Alvarez, and I still have yet to talk to the twins. I do need to hit this.
Well,
Is it
they're
the Yardley twins?
Yeah, they're expecting to be on 100. So if they're not able to come out for that, then they can fuck each other.
yeah, like front fuck each other though.
Well,
Like,
it's not incest. They're like the same person.
They're the same person.
Wouldn't it
so
be
it's
So it's
funny?
like a loop.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
be funny though if the only
Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Don't just
Wouldn't it be-
don't do it before
Wait, is
you
it dick
do
to
it.
dick or
No,
like?
no, I was just gonna say, wouldn't it be funny if, like, when they were babies and their parents decided, all right, we're gonna tell them apart by getting one circumcised and leaving one non-circumcised.
That would be a good clue.
That would be a fantastic clue, except for when they get older, and the only way that you've been able to tell them apart your entire life is by
Well, that's
looking at
also
their dicks.
a way to ensure that your twin boys don't swap out on each other's girlfriends.
That's good.
Wait, I have always wondered how that does not happen.
It
They
definitely
look.
does happen.
I still don't know.
All right.
I can't tell them apart, and they've told me so many times.
I can tell them apart, and it is only auditory. Well, actually, I can. Alex's face is a little different. Like their faces are a little different. But Alex has a fucking horrendous lisp.
It's not horrendous.
I like to make fun
It's
of him.
very
See, I-
slight.
I feel
He's
like they
got a
both have one, or no? I don't know.
No.
I'll say as I,
I think
love
you've
them.
only been talking to the same one the entire
think
time.
so.
You've only ever seen one of them.
Yeah.
You've been told there are two.
I had to do a set with them where I was like on stage with both of them, and their back and forth was insane. I was like, oh my, you guys are like connected, and I felt like the third ugly
Well, I mean,
twin.
they shared a womb,
I
and
know.
you didn't. You weren't in there.
Damn it.
I wish I could have shared that womb.
I know, right? You gotta. They're pretty, so I gotta imagine Mama Yardley is not a bad looker.
Must have been a nice womb.
Yeah.
Why did you lick your lips? I don't like that.
Listen, I like to think about wombs.
Ooh, he's a dad.
I'm a dad.
That is.
He's a dad.
Yeah, you have
Dads
like
love
grown
wombs.
children.
I mean, they're not grown, but
How old are they?
they're growing. 16, 14,
Yeah,
10.
it's grown people.
About to be 17, 15, 11. All within the next couple months.
That's hardcore.
That's dope.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Matt's got a clan.
Yeah, you were like,
He's got a little clan.
Doing it.
A little clan
Yeah.
of people.
That's what happens when, like, you think you need to grow up when you're a little kid. You
I
make
mean,
other
that's-
little
yeah.
kids. It's like, oh, this is a way that I'll now be an adult.
Right.
I will have children, and it doesn't necessarily work that way.
how about that?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
When did you have your first kid though? How old were you?
19.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
That's. I can't imagine. Like, could you imagine?
No.
I tell people honestly, and like, don't have kids or get married until after you're 30.
Yeah.
You're not really a human being. Like, even through your 20s, you're not really even
That's
a
how
real
babies
human
get
being.
autism, man.
Yeah.
What?
Or like,
when you're 30?
oh,
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, just late pregnancy.
no, guys can
That's
like
really late.
throw loads anytime they want.
Yeah.
I think women, it's like 35. You're kind of at the end.
I thought it was like more like 40, but I don't know.
Maybe in today's technology. I don't know.
Eh,
The wombs.
the wombs.
knows
Those
about it?
delicious wombs. It's weird to call it a delicious womb, isn't it?
They are
Yeah,
delicious.
no, that's not something you should say. Sounds like you like strictly eat placenta.
Ooh.
They sell those as capsules, so you can take it. It's supposed to be really good for you.
Whose placenta am I taking?
It will be your wife's
Oh.
or your partner.
Oh,
Okay.
so
so
you
you can have their placenta put.
So
in
Yeah,
like-
you can put it in capsules.
So like they dry it up for you. They got like
Yeah, like a beef jerky.
Just imagining there's this hospital with it's got this fucking like as seen on TV dehydrator.
Yeah.
just on a counter next to a
The
centrifuge.
Ronco 5000.
Yeah,
QVC, you can get it on there.
they bring it into the break room to make banana chips every once in a while.
Oh my god, I love
Oh, also, side note, I need some banana chips eventually. Just remind me of that, please.
I'm not your fucking
They're-
personal assistant. I know that I don't do anything on this podcast, but talking to this mic. But fuck your banana chips. And
Are they the same as plantain chips?
No.
I just like can't get behind banana chips, like veggie chips. Get out of my
But no,
face.
banana chips are like, I mean, they're like just slices of banana that are dehydrated and they're sweet and they taste like banana.
It's just like eat a fucking banana though.
Oh, they're so good.
I don't like the consistency of a banana.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I can eat half of it
Yep.
and I'm fine, but anything after that, it starts making me gag.
It's when you hear the sound your mouth is making,
Yeah.
it's
It
disgusting.
reminds me of
Why you guys gotta ruin bananas for all the good people in the world that
fuck them.
that don't think like monsters like you two?
I'm just saying.
You just ruined bananas for like at least half of our listeners.
I'm saying-
How fucking dare you?
I'm saying bananas are disgusting and you should never fucking have them.
What about bananas in like Nilla wafer, like banana pudding with Nilla
Get the fuck out of my
wafers?
face. Get anything with pudding, get it out of here.
You don't like pudding?
Get it out of here.
No pudding? What?
No.
Chocolate
it's just
pudding?
like warm and like
No, cold
Yeah,
pudding.
cold.
You gotta have cold
Cold
pudding, like
pudding.
right out of the
Maybe.
fridge.
But
you
I
know?
can fuck with Jello though. I like
Ew.
sucking it in, like
Yeah.
just. I like it.
Do you like the consistency?
Yeah, 'cause
Like
it's
breaking
like-
it up in
it's-
your mouth?
Yeah, because it's like turns into liquid in your mouth.
Yeah.
which is dope.
That is pretty cool. It's like a science project.
Thank you.
You don't like any cream pies? Cream pies, that's all
No.
pudding filled.
I'm not
Like a
a fan.
coconut cream pie?
No.
A lemon meringue pie?
I do like lemon meringue because I like the toasted thing on top.
The meringue.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. This is an interesting fact that we found out.
I'm very disappointed, actually.
With banana chips?
No, I'm just disappointed you don't like pudding.
It's just like in those. I don't like the pudding cups either. Like it's just upsetting.
Snack packs?
Yes.
How dare you sully snack packs on meat sweats? Oh,
When's the last time you had
They're
a snack
fucking
pack?
trash.
probably like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah,
I used to
so-
buy them a lot.
Not long enough.
I used to buy snack packs a lot.
What other
I do like
foods?
eating Lunchables though.
like
I
Lunchables?
love and like even though like the meat's like wet.
It always is
So
wet.
why
meat.
is it wet?
That's fine.
But the wet one is better than the salty dry ones, I think.
Have you had like these adult Lunchables they have at grocery stores now? With like
It's
the little-
upsetting.
They have like the little baguettes. And
Yeah. I do like the ones that have like the really dry cracker because it's less carbs. So I sometimes do that. And yeah.
Oh, spoken like a true white woman.
Thank you. I am
White
like
Woman's
mixed
podcast
though.
today.
So I'm like a partial white.
What's the other part?
I'm half black.
You're half black?
What? I didn't know that.
I know, no one does.
No
I'm
one
like
knows
a
that.
secret.
You never tell that. You know what you're talking about. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
If you saw my family, they look completely different than me.
Really?
Yeah, when I was 16, my friend like pulled me aside. He's like, "Who are the people in this house?" I'm like, "They're my family." He's like, "What happened to you?"
That's amazing.
I'm like, "It came out the wrong color. I'm sorry." But yeah, my mom was light skinned, so it wasn't like she
Okay.
was like from Africa. But you know,
I never knew that. That's very cool.
yeah, I used to talk about it on stage. I gotta bring that back. Because then you have to introduce it every time. Like, I can't just be
Yeah.
like talking about it randomly. 'Cause
Yeah.
people would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fuck.
I'm so interesting.
You are so interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get back to food.
Okay,
Listen, that's great that you're culturally diverse.
you're welcome.
Like, I like you better now.
Thank
like,
you.
I hated you before. I was like this white bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I
now-
have vocal fry.
I mean, now you got.
I'm
now you
basic.
got,
like,
you got a little more credit now, though.
thank you.
Yeah.
What other foods do you not like?
I don't like bologna.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think anyone likes that.
Depends.
You gotta be
If you fry-
a real garbage person to like bologna.
No.
Yeah.
You can make a really mean fried bologna sandwich.
Just because Third Space has a good fried bologna sandwich that you like to fuck.
Shout out to Third Space.
Give it up.
Fried bologna, get it up. Get it up for Third Space.
I don't like
everybody.
sausage.
Sausage.
I don't like a salty meat. I just don't. It's like bacon. Sometimes is too much.
Okay.
It's just
Do you
too
eat
much.
ham?
No, I'm not a ham
That's
person.
good.
It's a very
That's
salty
good.
meat.
That's good.
Yeah.
Ham's bad.
Why is
But
ham bad?
It doesn't have a lot of
Ham's
weird
disgusting.
shit in it.
Ham's
It's not
gross.
good. But I can fuck with a hot dog though.
You like hot
It's
dogs?
so funny that you
Mm-hmm.
don't like bologna, which is basically a giant hot dog
I know.
Yeah.
sliced up.
I like the slices. I like a tube. Just
Give everything in
Yeah.
tube form.
But she doesn't like the sausage.
But no sausage.
No sausage.
And like my grandma used to make like little breakfast sausages, and I fucking hated them.
What?
Like the casing, and
I
they're
love-
too spicy.
I could eat like 5 cases of those fucking things.
I do like the idea of it as a necklace, and you can just be like,
You know what's fun? Is I've made sausage before. The act of making sausage is oddly really fun.
It
Therapeutic.
does seem like a good time.
It's pretty fun.
I do like
For
a
the
nice-
record.
I do.
Just shooting meat into a sleeve.
I
That
do
does look
like
pretty
a
cool.
long
Pretty-
tube of meat in my hands, so
Yeah,
I feel like I would make a
it's
great
cool process.
sausage.
you're like, what does this feel like? I've never felt this before.
Listen, I'm only used to 2 fingers. Like both hands, same
What
time.
about so what about like a salami? You fuck with
I
a
can fuck with salami, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
good.
What about a summer sausage?
She's like a
Summer sausage little
dried
sweet.
sausage.
I don't know. I don't think I like a summer sausage.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I also get creeped out when like sausage and cheese is not refrigerated.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
If like a meat, like a charcuterie plate.
Fucking here we go. Like
Yeah,
we've
get fancy.
successively
First of all, I
Yeah,
love
get
cheese
fancy.
boards.
Cheese boards are
My
great.
white side is very
Fancy
strong.
flex. That was a fancy flex.
Yeah, how are you guys so nerdy but so like bougie about your food
Don't
and
worry about
snack
it.
choices?
Don't fucking worry about it. We live our lives.
I also
I
eat
guess.
Uncrustables
Unapologetically.
regularly, so
Well,
I mean,
yeah, you're fucking trash. for
yeah.
that.
Oh, I'm a total trash. Like
Yeah.
I go by. I can't really do it anymore because like my daughter has all these food allergies, so I have to like actually make
What?
better food in the house.
What is she
Yeah.
allergic to?
Dairy. She's allergic to egg whites.
That's your fault.
She's allergic to
What?
Yeah, dairy, egg whites, and gluten.
Oh.
But ever since we've taken her
In
off,
ancient Sparta, they would have just hit her head against a rock at
did
birth.
those allergies even exist like 10 years ago? I feel
Not
like.
really.
Yeah, it was
I
like.
think there's a problem with the food more than there is a problem with us. I think they've changed the food. and
Yeah.
our bodies can't really process it the way they used to.
I think
But
so.
like ever since like we took her off that stuff, like she's had so many like just like not blotchy and not like puffy anymore, and like she's doing great.
Yeah, when
now,
she's
but,
older,
like,
she's gonna be like so skinny and like healthy.
she's like, I saw her last night and it looked like she had grown 3 inches. I'm like, fuck, dude.
She's gonna be really tall.
She's gonna be so
She's a
tall.
big kid.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna be super tall.
Yeah.
Dang.
But
His youngest son is fucking super tall.
Dang.
yeah, he's gonna be really
How old
big
are your
too.
children again?
16, 14, 10.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
a few years. I'll just swoop in when they're old enough.
Listen,
I'll.
couple. Let them get through college, and then you can
Oh
come
yeah,
in after
guys
the
at
college
21
days.
are fucking
Yeah, you don't-
idiots.
I've raised them pretty decently,
worst.
and their mom has raised them pretty decently, but
They're still gonna be shitheads.
They're still gonna be shitheads because they're
Yeah.
they're jockey too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely shitheads.
Yeah.
you know,
There's just no avoiding it.
Yeah, my older sister just got married, and all her friends were like on the football team, and they're still so broy. I'm like, I
Yeah.
haven't hung around bros like my whole life, and they're awful people, and they're like adults, and they're still like needing female attention, like they're like 21 still. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are sad.
Yep.
oh, it's I Champions down in fucking Gilbert is
Mm-hmm.
a dive bar.
Shout out
And
to Champions.
shout out to Champs. I fucking love you, Champs. And I go there with my buddy like a couple of times, once a week or once every couple of weeks. We go play darts and
Mm-hmm.
just drink beer in the afternoon and then walk home because we're like right there.
Fucking
But
dads.
it's fucking dads. It's just fucking dads drinking beer and playing darts at a dive bar. But it's like half of the people who are in there who are fucking drunk cowboy rednecks,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have all these fucking bros who walk in because it's downtown Gilbert, and it's so much fucking fun to watch, and just to sit there and fucking make fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy
It's like
walked
watching
in.
saltwater and fucking freshwater meat.
Yeah.
And it's like they're all
It
older
becomes
bros.
brackish.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
not. They're not the young bros. I watched this guy
like
walk
a-
in. He was like 45. He had his hair up in like a faux Houck.
Oh, yeah.
He had
He had the
rolled
ski
up,
jump.
Yeah. He had rolled up denim shorts on.
They're still trying to hold on.
He
Hey,
had
I
like
still
this
wear rolled
tight
up denim. How dare
striped
you.
shirt, like, and he was just like broing out. He had like the fucking tight the Tony Stark
yeah.
goatee going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, he is fucking into this. He is
Do
committed.
you have an earring?
He might have had an earring.
You have white sunglasses.
He definitely had white sunglasses.
And he like
He had
had
white sunglasses on the back of his
Oh,
head. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
he like ordered a Monster energy drink.
Yeah.
Like
He ordered an Irish trash can with
Yeah.
a monster in it instead
Oh
of a
my
Red Bull.
god! Something about like bros or like hot girls. They always try to like just stay in their prime, but
Yeah.
they don't notice that they're like not hot anymore. But then just watch them try to talk to people and still try to use their looks, and it's just like it doesn't work anymore.
Oh man, it's tough. It's especially fuck. I met a chick like in one of my off periods with my current girlfriend who I was talking to for a second, who was late 30s. And the way she talked and acted was like she was 22.
Ugh.
And I was like, this is fucking baffling to me because like you're older than I am, and like I've got 3 fucking kids. I've already been divorced. Like I already survived a fucking cult. Like I've already done all these things, and you're still like waiting for your mom to send you
Yes.
like money, and you're bitching about it. It's like,
What? 30
Yeah.
late?
yeah,
Ooh.
complaining that her mom was getting ready to cut her off, and it was like, yeah, you're about to be 30 fucking 7,
Yeah, that's
and
sad.
all you do is fucking go to bars and drink every night.
You're I'm just throwing this out, like. You get mad about. I just get envious. Like I don't get mad. I'm just like, God, I wish I had that.
I'm not. It's not that I'm mad about it. It's
I'm just in awe that like
I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah, it's like so fast. I like have this whole thing about like hot girls and they're like how they act because
Yeah.
when they're older, they still try to like be ditzy and like cute, but they're like old, and it's like that worked for so long, and then
Yeah.
I'm just like watching them like. Your whole
There's-
life, only your looks mattered, and it's just like it's insane.
There's no depth.
No, and it's just like talking to a wall. But they're like so
horrible.
nice, and guys are always like, "But they're so nice." I'm like, "Yeah, of course they are."
Yeah, of course they are. They're fucking. They don't have anything going on.
Yeah, it's
There's
so
nothing there.
fascinating.
There's no substance.
Ugh. And then, so in high school, we're like a bunch of like girls. Were you guys like bullied or like girls mean to you, or like were you always like?
When I was
Sorry to be interviewing you guys. I'm sorry. I have
when I was-
control issues.
No, this
I'm
is
so sorry.
you can you can do whatever the fuck
when
you
I was
want.
in whatever you feel comfortable with. Yeah.
Sorry.
When I was in 6th grade, I got 5th grade. I got kicked in the balls by this girl named Ashley Walters, and the next day my appendix ruptured.
Oh my god.
I wasn't very good with ladies ever.
Oh
Wow.
no. Medically.
I had an ex-girlfriend crack me in the head with a pot.
Bill likes to get beat up.
Yeah,
too.
do they feel like they should dominate you? Because you do have like such a manly, like aggressive outer exterior.
Yeah, I'm a little cuck on the inside.
likes to get slapped around?
kind of. I like I like an aggressive lady.
Yeah.
Like an aggressive lady.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about you?
Do I like an aggressive lady?
Or like, what was your like experience growing up with girls?
I have a completely different experience growing up. I grew up in a cult.
I wanted to ask
So,
you about this, but I didn't know
yeah.
if you like have always like been like repeating yourself on this podcast. About
Yeah, a
your
little
cult.
bit. I
stopped drinking on the podcast because we used to,
just
I used
talk
to play
about
a
too
drink,
much.
I used to play a drinking game where every time he mentioned the cult, we would take a drink.
Well, I
You
didn't
know what? People ask for it, Bill. People
No,
come
I'm
on here
so
and they ask me
interested.
questions.
Like, we don't even have to talk about it here, but later.
No, talk.
No,
Yeah.
just like my I was
didn't mean to
12 when
derail.
I found out who I was supposed to marry. And like I was told at that point, this is the only person you can have sex with. Like if
Dang.
you even think of another woman,
It's a sin.
it's a sin.
Jesus.
This is your like.
Was
what
she
do they
even
call it?
hot?
Like
Like
vibration.
vibration.
Is this,
It was
is this the
pretty.
mother of your children? Oh.
Yeah.
Is she still in the cult?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they're all out. So like that set me up for a whole world of sexual failure. And like I didn't really go to high school because we were in a cult, so I went a little bit, and I went out with a girl a little bit in high school, just like very very briefly, because anytime that like I would be like, okay, we're not doing this arranged marriage thing because
Yeah.
this person has no interest in me. She doesn't want to do this, and that's fine. I'll go do something. Anytime that happened, I found out later, like, the cult leadership would just fucking bury her and be like, you better fucking go do something or you're out.
Dang.
And so then she would come back along and be like, hey, we should kiss. I'm like, oh, okay, we're back together again. And that's kind of like how our relationship went for a very long time. So I didn't really start like dating or anything like that until I was fucking probably 30.
Dang, that's crazy.
I learned a lot of really fucking brutal, hard lessons when I was 30 about dating and different things and that, because I was not ready for what I walked into. And like, even like when I left the cult, got divorced, and like there was a 2-year period there where I didn't date anybody. I had nothing. I just was like, I'm taking a couple years. I have all this shit that I need to work on of myself.
Yeah.
And I just spent 2 years like really working on myself. And then I came out of that and I met somebody and I was like, man, look, all the stars are aligning. I was still thinking kind of in that like weird cult thought where like this is just the way it's
all
set
you
up
knew.
to be.
I honestly think that not to cut you off, but like just that ideology of there's the one. There's the
you
one
think
for
that?
That's
like,
the thing.
I feel like a vast majority of our society in America has been duped into that by like Disney movies and
Oh
just
my
all
God,
the,
yeah.
the self-fulfilling prophecy bullshit.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like
No, that's
because that's
We're
something
all in a cult, man.
Yeah.
no, seriously, that's exactly what it was. And I was at a point in my life where I had all these things going. Like I had set all these goals and I'd kicked off my life in this direction of which I wanted to. And I was like, okay, the only thing that's really missing right now is like that relationship. And so I tricked myself into thinking like something that came into my life was that.
Yeah.
And I found out very quickly in a very hard way for me, like, and not anything on her that anything she was doing anything wrong or anything. She was just living her life.
Yeah.
But I put all these expectations on this situation,
And so much pressure.
and they just fucking crumbled. And then I realized, like, okay, like this is gonna take some figuring out. It's taking a shit ton of figuring out of just like, like. I didn't know how to fucking meet women or dress. None of that shit. I was told I was an ugly person, like growing up in a cult. Like,
You're actually very pretty, man.
You are.
that's what I'm realizing
You
now.
are a very handsome person.
Right, but like I was never told that.
Just a little on the husky side.
Oh, I know. Well, that's the thing
That's
too.
in now, though.
I was always.
Is it?
I was
I
always
don't
heavy
feel
too.
it. When is short and husky gonna be in?
Never.
You let me know.
Never.
Y'all let me
Never.
know when that's in. You guys want some Loompa love?
Maybe when they remake Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for a
Fuck
third
yeah.
time.
They gotta make some. You gotta put some sexy Loompas in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give a shout out to our short folks. Right?
Dang, that's so crazy.
Yeah. So really, like, I've had to learn a lot of shit very quickly.
I will say I feel like you're actually probably more well adjusted than most people in that respect, though, because you kind of did that learning and that exploration like as an adult. You know what I mean? Like you were very insulated throughout the years of the formative years, if you will.
Yeah.
And maybe you feel like you came late to the game, but honestly, Matt, like you're probably one of the more well-adjusted and mindful people I've ever met.
Oh, yeah.
And I think like you can credit the cult for that.
I absolutely give the cult credit where it's due. There's a lot of things that I learned from that 28 years of my life. Like I absolutely didn't come away from that with nothing. But I had to learn, and I did interact with the world a lot in that, but I also interacted with the world from a place of, like, I'm just going out into the world. I'm not part of the world.
Right.
We're this separate group that's meant to be a beacon to the world and show them how to live, a right life.
Yeah.
So anytime, like, it was very hard to have relationships with people on that level where you automatically think that somehow they're suffering.
Right.
You know what I
like
mean?
you're trying to
Yeah,
save them or
that's
something.
Exactly.
Ooh.
It's fucking weird. And so, like, it just... And I also had to make I made a very conscious decision on a day where it was like, all right, like, I have to just, like, open up my mind and start trying different shit. Because if I don't, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
And like that, it was a day. It was on a day, and it was like I had walked out of this fucking job. It was a fucking call center job. Where I just couldn't take people on the phone telling me to get a real fucking job and calling me a stupid cunt, and like it was just that every day for 8 hours, and I just walked out, and there was a light rail. I was like, I can just fucking jump in front of this light rail and just be done.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't have my family, I didn't have my kids, I didn't have my wife, I was living in a halfway house, like I didn't have anything, and I was like, I could do this, and I seriously sat and contemplated it. And then I was like, you know what? I can't do that to my kids. I can't have my kids, especially my sons, growing up thinking that their dad gave up on them.
Right.
That their dad like didn't want them or anything like that. Just the thought of that broke my fucking heart. And I was like, okay, at this point I just have to try something different. You know, I just have to accept other people's ideas. You know, I don't have any good ideas. Every idea that I've had up to this point has got me where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything I've done to this point has got me right here.
Yeah.
In fucking just the lowest spot that I've ever been in.
That's what it takes, though.
Yeah.
It does. It 100% does. And so I just decided, like, all right, I'm just going to go with whatever. And I mean, it's been really good for me. I mean, I've done a ton of shit since then, and shit that I was told that I would never really be able to do without the help and support of this system.
Yeah, so then they
You know.
keep you there.
How crazy is that, though? Like just being kept down that long in your life. Can you imagine? Like, any time when I was a kid and people would tell me, like, "Oh, you can't do that," I would like instantly grit my teeth and prove them wrong. Like, you know, it was almost like. But to imagine, like, since you're basically able to understand,
Absolutely,
you're just indoctrinated.
It's so crazy.
And then to be where you are now, like, that's fucking monumental.
Yeah, you're so normal. And not to be as like condescending. But like I heard that you were in a cult, like I think I heard you say it like to someone else, and I was like, I need to ask him all these questions. But I was like, no, he's probably heard it so many times. But that's so interesting.
Yeah, it's funny because people like want me to talk about it, but it's like you have to ask me specific questions because there were so many different phases of things that went on, so many different years and periods of time, and it's like 25 years.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I sum up 25 years in just this short conversation?
Yeah.
So like I've kind of had to break it out into like, well, this is this story and it comes from, you know what I mean? Like specific stories about specific shit, but I don't know. I don't really ever get sick of talking about it because it's interesting.
Yeah.
And as I talk about it, I remember more shit. Like,
well, honestly, like, just talking about shit like that where it's just super impactful and traumatic, like, one, you'll realize more shit about, but two, it helps you to kind of grow past it, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
the more you talk through it, you have like different epiphanies about how it impacted you and who the person you became. Like, I mean, I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing any hardship, but like, we've all been through it.
Yeah.
You know, and Matt's got a very visceral one that's very honestly like really fascinating to hear about because there is a whole mythos to it. It's like a story. It's like reading a fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about like all the different intricacies and like how
I like can't even.
the big players worked in the cult, like he's gone into all that in like various episodes in the podcast, and it's very interesting. But then
I've also gathered a lot of information since I've been out of it.
oh yeah,
And I've also been able, like, I've talked to a lot of other people, a handful of other people who have since left, and most of it's gone. There's only a very small core that's really there anymore, and I don't really think it really operates the way it did. But I have no idea, and I don't give a shit.
nobody's passing checks like they were.
They're not floating checks anymore. Yeah, but like I've talked to so many people who've like told me stories of like their side of things and things that they experienced, and like it's kind of cool because like through that I've been able to piece together a much more coherent like history and story of the whole thing, where like I can see now more motivations. I can see now more why certain things happen the way they did. I can see traumatic events that went back, and I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. I do find it interesting to find out like other people's side of it, because then it like fills in so much. But I knew a lot too while I was there. Like I was friends with me and my ex-wife was a grandchild of the cult leaders, and so she was part of the family, and all the ministers were children of the cult leaders, and like we were friends with a couple of the ministers, and like we knew a lot of shit. And I realized later that we knew a lot more shit about people. Like I knew personal details about people's lives that they had confessed to ministers.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh yeah. I've heard a lot of stuff.
And you grew up in the cult, right?
Yeah.
Because all the stories usually hear like these like older women like fall in love with a guy, and it's like kind of a cult, but you never hear the story of like someone who just grew up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's all you knew.
That's
That's all I knew. And the even crazier part about it is going the funniest thing is like my grandfather was a lobbyist in Washington DC, and we would like go visit them, and like we'd go to Texas, and he would take me to Texas to go like to a golf school for a weekend, and we'd stay at his condo in Texas. It was fucking gorgeous, and we'd be treated to this very like glamorous a lifestyle of wealth, and not like super crazy wealth, but just like something to me that was super crazy wealth, because most of the time I lived in poverty. And so like
slept in garages.
I've lived in a teepee, I've lived in a tent, unfinished garages in the fucking cold, trailers. I mean, all kinds of shit. And so then like I remember I was like 8 or 9, and we flew to DC to go see my grandparents, and we walked out and got into a limo, and the limo took us to my grandfather's office, which was across the street from the Treasury Department.
Dang.
And
he was in the cult?
No, my grandfather was not. His son, my dad, and my mom moved us there when I was 3. Moved us from DC. And like I can see, and like even looking back, it's like they found people who were going to parent them. They like my grandfather was very, very busy, you know, and kind of like my father went to DC when I was 2 or 3. He moved back there to like try to get a better relationship, and just wasn't getting what he wanted, and he had these other people talking in his ear, and then he's like, all right, well, we're moving to Arizona to go live in a cult.
They didn't know it was a cult though.
It was a commune.
Yeah, because you always think it's like going into something.
What did your dad say to his?
I don't know.
Like that's interesting. That would be interesting to know. Like how did it, like what did he? How did he explain? Like
I'll have to go back.
I mean?
I'll have to go back and talk to them about this, because now that you bring it up, it is very interesting, and I would like to know more of that story.
Yeah, like just how that, like, because I mean, I couldn't imagine like the way you've always portrayed your grandfather. I couldn't imagine him being the type of person to be like, oh yeah, cool, you're going to join a commune? Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like
they're probably like, we're gonna volunteer. Everyone loves that.
I mentioned once to my mom, I was like, I want to, like, one of my dreams is to move into an RV, like a van or an RV, and just drive around the country, and kind of park where live where I park, and have that life. And she was like, I will disinherit you if you become a vagabond.
First of all, shout out to your mom, my favorite person.
Yeah, Leigh does love
so
my mom.
cute.
She actually really likes Leigh too.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
She's so like spicy, and because we had I think you're on the show, the Bingo and Brew show, where we yell at the audience, and it's like interactive.
I don't think I was at that one.
He wasn't at that one, but yeah.
Yeah, she was like yelling at us. She was like so like sassy.
Oh man, I'm sad I missed that one. I would have loved to do a Bingos and Brews with your mother.
She
in
was
the
so
crowd.
dope.
I'm glad you weren't. I'm glad
Oh my
you weren't
God.
there. I'm
That
very
would've
happy
been-
you weren't there. Actually.
That would have been the funnest thing in the
He
world.
always
Yeah,
talks
she
about
was-
how he's to try to seduce my mother.
Yeah, she was out of control. Like
You think he could seduce my mom?
I think so.
How dare you, Leigh?
I
This
think
is my house.
I
How
gave
dare
your
you?
mom. I gave your mom a real big hug, and she really liked it. She was a big fan of it.
Mom.
She lingered. She squeezed a little bit tighter once she realized I
Ooh,
wasn't
when someone
letting go.
gives you like a good hug,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she really leaned into it. So
Motherfucker.
I kind of
Stay
want to
away
date
from
your
my mother.
mom. Doesn't she live in like North Dakota or South
Yeah,
Dakota?
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Yeah, it's the worst Dakota.
Yeah, I also like sometimes want to just like live on a farm and just like be relaxed.
It's not relaxing.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
No, like I wouldn't do the farm work.
okay.
I would just like be there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, that part's
if
really
you,
relaxing.
if you can land that, then that's fine.
Yeah, I want to be an Instagram influencer and then just like
you need to get on some farmersonly.com.
yeah,
There you go.
I'll fucking join a
Just
cult.
find one of those ranchers with a MAGA hat doesn't think women that should work.
Oh my god, can we have more of those people, please?
Come to Gilbert.
Yeah, there's a lot.
God,
They're
I
pretty
don't like the
broy.
East
They're
Side.
broy cowboys,
Oh,
but
great.
A lot of horse paths. You know?
Okay.
A lot of room for broage.
I'm down.
there's a ton.
I'll do it.
There's a ton of bros.
Who's you know what though? I'm honestly like, can we just stop riding horses in cities already?
Who's still riding horses in cities? Where have you seen a horse? When's the last time?
So Scottsdale's got mounted cops. There's fucking horse trails all through Gilbert and Chandler.
Yeah, but I run on those trails, and I've yet in the year and a half that I've been there
To see
seen
any?
a horse.
No?
Seriously, I've
mean,
not seen a horse out.
I've
and I've
definitely-
run back behind those properties that are the ranch properties. I've never seen a horse back
Never
there.
seen a horse back there?
Uh-uh.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
That's probably good. I'm sick of seeing a horse. Like every once in a while I'll see a horse. I don't like fucking horses.
They're so majestic.
I don't
Why
care.
Why don't you like horses?
Because they don't belong here.
What do you mean
They
they
belong in the
belong
city.
here?
Get them out of here. Yeah, I want to fucking see a horse. I mean, they're bicycles that shit.
Is this because you grew up
That is
in
true.
North Dakota?
I got bit by a horse once. So
Oh,
I
okay.
fell off a horse
You
and
fell
it
off
stepped
one?
on me,
Ooh.
but I like ninja rolled away before it like stepped on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have a scar. And like my leg is a little numb
From where you
Ooh,
got stepped
really?
on?
where it kicked
No
me. Yeah.
shit.
Damn.
Wow.
And my parents were like, "Well, get back on it. We'll finish the ride."
Were you guys on like a trail ride or what?
Yeah, we were in Wales, and
Okay.
it was like this like mountainous, and my horse was like trying to get to the nicer greenery, and when it went downhill, I just went with it instead of like leaning back, and I just like toppled over it.
Oh no.
Oh, so it was your fault. not
Yeah,
the
oh,
horse's.
100% my fault. I was a dummy, and I was wearing green overalls. I remember that. Just a little
Adorable.
tidbit.
That's
Little tidbit.
adorable.
I can
Yeah.
see it so much clearer now.
Thank you. They were velvet, or yeah.
Yeah,
Velvet.
I was just like, I don't even remember what I was doing. I was just in like I was in a pasture, like on my friends were all farmers growing up.
Okay.
So I was always out at their farm, and they had like a little pasture and barn in front of their grandparents' house, and there were always horses in there. Can't remember the fucking horses' names. They could be glue for all I fucking care. And just literally just standing there, like, and this fucking horse is like, he just kind of trots up, and he reaches over the fence. I'm not even in the thing. He
Yeah.
goes over the fence and bites me
Yeah, they can be
for
aggressive
no
sometimes.
fucking reason. He just came up and bit me on the shoulder. And I don't know if you ever seen horse teeth. They look
yeah.
like people teeth on fucking steroids. And those things, like, their head is just all jaw muscle.
It is.
It fucking hurts so much.
Oh man.
So horses can all die.
Yeah, they're
Fuck 'em.
aggressive.
I got bucked off a horse.
You got bucked off,
Yeah.
and then you got fucked off.
I didn't get fucked off. I got bucked off, and I just sat on the ground.
You want to get fucked off.
Oh my god, I did watch that video when that guy fucked a horse.
Oh, yeah, you saw the Mr. Hands
Yeah,
video?
I think
Look
I was
at
like
you.
in middle school or high school.
middle school.
Middle school is early.
It was like right when like viral videos were a thing, and there what I don't think YouTube was
How old
a
are you?
thing. 26.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I forgot. 26, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like you had to like get sent the video. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't I don't know how it worked the internet back then. But yeah, I like got the video and like me and my friends watched it. And it was like really fucking weird.
Real bad.
I don't think I've
I
ever
didn't
seen
like
it.
it.
but-
He
You never
died.
saw Mr. Hands? He died. Not
No.
on
Rightly
camera.
so.
Not on camera, but
Yeah.
I've
after.
seen. I think I've seen a video of like a horse fucking a woman.
didn't you feel?
I think I've
didn't
seen a
you-
video of a horse fucking a dude, but I don't think I've seen.
How would you
that
feel to be
specific
that
one.
guy that? So you've seen it. You know, there was the guy in there that was like the horse dick spotter.
Yeah. He was
How
like
would
he
you-
was guiding it in.
How would you feel to be that guy to let your you fucking the
Yeah.
one job you had, the one job you had to keep the horse from bottoming out on your friend.
He fucking deep dick dumb.
He deep
Fucking
he deep dick
dicked him
horse
down.
he deep dick horse pizzaed him. Oh my god.
Have you ever seen the one man one jar video?
Yep.
Yes.
That was a real bad one.
That one.
I don't
did
know, is
damage
that
to me
real?
psychologically?
I've
I
heard
don't know.
I've heard that the one man one jar is not real, but I don't know.
I've seen a couple different versions, like
Oh, really?
Different angles.
No, not different
He had
angles.
multiple camera positions.
I've seen like
He had 3-point lighting.
I remember seeing the original video, and then I remember later like trying to show somebody the video because I'm a sick fuck like that.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what you have
it
to
was
do
a
with
different
videos like that.
It was a different person.
Oh,
So
like
I've
it was a
seen-
challenge.
No, I've seen 2 different people do the exact same thing in 2 different.
You ever
videos.
seen the Pain Olympics?
No.
You ever see the Pain Olympics?
I don't think so. Not by that name. I
Guy
don't
shoots. Guy takes a 9mm and shoots through his scrotum.
know. No,
Oh.
that's
There's
not
two
okay.
guys. So the Pain Olympics. There was it had a longer name, but just look up Pain Olympics, and it was 2 guys that kind of just started.
Probably don't look that up.
Don't, but you should. It was 2 guys that just got in like a war who could take the most pain, and they were they were. It was like in the height of Jackass,
Right, yeah.
or CKY, So these guys were like doing that stuff, and then the one guy fucking shot his
That's
ball.
Wait, because there's like 2 balls and it's in one little like package. So he just like
He
Moses.
took it, he stretched his scrot out, put the barrel of the gun on it, and shot it
No.
through a table. Yeah,
That's crazy.
that was on the internet in that's like circa 2001.
ugh. How's he doing?
I don't know. What if he put like?
What if the
what if he
nuts like
gauged
fell
it?
out of the hole?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. The exit wound couldn't have been that bad. He had a backer on it.
Oh, I know what that means.
Like when you're drilling something, and you drill into another piece of wood,
Oh,
and it
okay.
keeps it from shooting
Oh, thank
out the
God.
back.
Nah.
I don't like that.
In high school, one of the times I was in high school, I was a junior, and I remember
When I wasn't in a cult.
Yeah.
seriously, I went to high school for the baseball season of my freshman year, and then football and wrestling season of my junior year.
Okay.
And that's like all the high school I went to, like actual high school.
I wish that's all the high school I went to.
But I remember the junior year part, there was a kid on the football team who like all of a sudden couldn't play football and he was limping around. I was like, what the fuck happened? And he was like, oh, I shot myself. I was like, what? And he like pulled up his fucking pants and like he was fucking around with like a revolver and shot himself through his leg. And like, I don't think he had like told his parents yet because he had a hole all the way through his leg.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you had a through and through?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best case scenario.
It's the best case scenario, but like it was like you should probably go to the hospital
Yeah.
and get this taken care of because right now you just have a hole through your leg.
Dude.
And I could see through his fucking leg. I could see the ground. It was like Jesus Christ.
I can't say that I don't not like watching like videos of fat white guys like trying to do like quick draw McGraw and then shoot themselves.
Shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah, because they're trying to be all cool
Yeah.
and they're douchey and they get what they deserve. It's
Yeah.
just desserts. Like I'm not mad that this kid
It's
shot
like,
himself in the
motherfucker,
leg.
You shouldn't be able to own a gun.
I was just shocked that I could see through a hole in this kid's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
leg.
insane.
I mean, but that'd be something I would do. Like I would be way too scared to tell my parents that I fucking shot. Like
Yeah, I'd be more scared of my parents.
Like one time I shot myself in the mouth with a blow dart.
Suck it in? What'd
Yeah.
you do? Oh.
Well, my brother put the blow dart in the blowgun backwards.
On
And
purpose?
so when I drew it back, it just shot me in the mouth.
Fuck. I can't believe siblings haven't killed each other like more often.
Yeah.
It's
That
like
happens a lot,
you're
actually.
Awful, really. Jesus Christ.
I mean, yeah. Would you ever watch Criminal Minds?
Oh, true. I love Criminal Minds.
That's a great show.
I marathon after my mom died. I just marathon
sorry.
shows. It's okay.
It's just something
make it
you're
real-
supposed to say.
When she died.
It's just something you're supposed to say.
Yeah. Well, don't. No.
I mean,
Don't bring it up.
honestly, like.
I know.
How dare
My
you.
dad died. My dad died, and that's like something people always say. It's just like every time you bring it up is, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that."
That's right.
And it's just like, I mean, he's dead. It happens.
Yeah, or do you get where like people like get way too emotional about it? It's like it wasn't your parent. Like settle. They're trying to like almost act like you should be acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's like maybe I'm in a place where it's like not as like fresh.
Do you
but
feel judged by that if they like get super emotional about it? And it's like,
sometimes if like I make a joke and
Yeah.
people get like really weird about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't
That's-
fucking kill her. Relax, bro.
Yeah.
Like
I used to make this joke about my my old man's tranny porn collection. So it was pretty extensive, and I had to delete it from his computer
men.
before my
I
mom.
love it.
Hey, I was saving my mother. Okay.
Yeah.
I told her about it 5 years later when I could try to make it funny.
I love telling dead mom jokes from my dad, and he's like, "This is too much, Lee. Stop it." Like, because my sister's wedding, my dad was like, "Oh, I'm sad because like mom's not gonna be there." I was like, "Fuck off! I'm gonna be there. I'm all you need." Blah blah blah. Like, get over it. She's fine. I'm like, "You're just mad you have no one to bang after the wedding." Like, come on.
That's pretty fantastic.
Oh
much.
my god. That's
Oh, but I
fucking
did want to
hilarious.
bring up when you said like you had that moment at the light rail and you're like, I have this one option. That's how I felt when I was in college. And it was like right after my mom died and I was driving back to like my town in Indiana. And I was like, I don't want to be in school. And I literally packed up my stuff and drove across country like a week later.
Yeah.
Really?
But it was like just one of those moments where you're like, this is happening. I'm not going to overthink it. And I just like left.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think those moments are not to be all like hippy dippy, but I like those moments.
I look back on my life and I don't think that there's anything that I really regret. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think I have any regrets anymore. And part of that is
I
like,
do.
well, I mean, like but everything I've done has gotten me to the point where I'm at now, where I'm at a place where I'm pursuing something that I truly love. You know what I mean? And that's the first time and only time
Yeah.
I've ever fucking done that.
Yeah.
I'm living, you know.
Without the experience, you wouldn't have been led to comedy. And
Yeah,
you wouldn't,
true.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
and I think for people, I think that's just, I think it's normal. I think it's
think-
what's supposed to happen. I think I might have a little bit of an exaggerated.
I think
experience
honestly,
with
we might be actually luckier than some because at least we did find a passion to divert the energies that we've accumulated into us.
Yeah, I remember.
you
I remember
know?
being in college and like I was in like graphic design, and I was like, why do people care about this so much?
Yeah.
I like could not like figure out why they were so intense and competitive. I was like, oh my god, you should care about what you're doing because
Yeah.
I like did not give a shit at all.
Absolutely. I've had so many jobs and so many things I've done when it was just that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing it to support my family or like because I thought it was what I was supposed to be doing. I've done so many things in my life because I thought it was what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm just doing things that feel good to me and are things that I want to do.
And
not
honestly,
hurting anybody
that's
doing
the way
that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can live your life like that, fuck, you win. Like, I don't care about success. I don't care about any of that. Like, what is success? You know, like people always try to quantify what that is, and
Yeah.
it's whatever the fuck you make it in your mind. Like,
You know where
you can
I really,
abandon the status quo.
Yeah.
Here's how I'm going to ruin this.
Run it.
By watching Joe Rogan and seeing how Joe Rogan has structured his life where he does whatever the fuck he wants. He makes a lot of money doing it and he has fun and smokes pot all the time. I saw that. I was like, oh, okay. Like that's something. Like
Yeah.
another person's doing it. That's not fucking crazy. You know what I
It's
mean?
not,
He's-
Right,
it's
yeah.
not impossible.
Yeah.
He's created a life that's outside of like, and that's just an example, but he's created a life that's outside of that life where you have to go to college, you have to get this great degree, you have to get all this shit, you have to work at a company for 20 years to become the president and
Yeah.
CEO and do all this shit. And it's like, no, he's just living his life unapologetically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
You know what I mean?
I just started a new job and people are like, oh, I've been here 20 years, 15 years. I'm like, oh, God, what are you talking about?
When they pop up those fucking work anniversaries and it's like
It's so
25, 30,
depressing.
35 years, it's like, man, like,
I used to.
yes.
I used to work at a job with this guy had been there since the company was founded, and he had never advanced past like the job he was doing since the company was founded.
Jesus.
But he was just solely invested in this being who he was. Like, I'm Steve and I am a millwright and this is all I do. Like, this is all I do and this is what I know how to do. And even if you know how to do it better, I'm not going to fucking listen to what you have to, because I've been here for 30 years. And I was just like, I felt so bad for him. I felt so fucking bad for him because, like,
I kind of feel like but also
Are you
like
jeal-
happy for
well,
that person.
I feel bad for him, but at
'Cause
the
if
same
that's
time, I'm
truly-
jealous because that's, like if I could be as ignorant to not
I know.
have anything else that I want for in the world. You
Yeah.
I
know?
don't think that's ignorance.
It
though.
might not be.
I think
with
like,
him it was.
Maybe
but
not everyone wants to do stand up.
No, but like seriously, like
I'm just saying I couldn't even if I didn't have this.
I know. I don't know.
sometimes I'm envious of those people who can work at the place I work and they're happy with it and they're contented with it and it's exciting to them and they love it and it's what they want to do forever.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people like when they say, you're a comedian, you're so brave to get up on stage. It's like, no, I'm not brave. I can walk, so that's how I got up on stage.
Yeah.
And then I have something broken inside of me, and that's real though. Like I don't think I've met
What do you think's broken inside that you?
me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a constant need for like approval from other people that I seek
Yeah.
in my life, and like I feel like doing stand up has probably been the healthiest way to seek it
Yeah, but I also don't
that I've
think
found.
you're like the person that will tell people jokes like I don't know how to explain. Like those people who like always have to be the center of attention in every aspect. I wouldn't think you're like that. I think
I'm
it's
not
more
that person.
concentrated.
Well, honestly, I used to be that person when I first started doing stand up. I'd go out and I would just like try to be on as much as I could, like while I was out and about, like everywhere,
Yeah.
like, and I would just constantly be throwing shit out there, and honestly, like, I just got fucking tiring. It's
exhausting.
It's exhausting,
Yeah.
and so like that's what helped me concentrate it into like I'm just seeking on stage approval.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, people are like, you don't act like a comedian. Like, what? You're so quiet.
I mean, yeah, like, but honestly, it's just, I mean, if I don't like. I don't like talking to people I don't fucking want to talk to.
Yeah, that's why a lot at like comedy shows I don't talk to a lot of people because like it's not, it almost feels like a
fucking bitch.
Oh yeah, but like it always feels like they're trying to one up you on how to like be funnier,
Yeah.
and I'm just like I'm not
Just
gonna
like,
do
yeah,
that.
I don't want to participate. In
Yeah,
your,
I just
in
shut
your
down.
bullshit. Like,
Or I just agree with them until they stop talking to me.
Yep.
That's why a lot of people like me because I just like agree with them, and I'm just like okay.
I mean, it's
sure.
honestly, it's.
I'm a shell.
It's
of a
just
person.
it's just easier to do, Just
Yeah.
like, yeah, huh, just smile and nod.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I gonna debate you? Like, oh my god.
I mean, I don't want to sit there and it's just. It's like getting in a fucking Facebook argument with someone. It's just pointless.
yeah, it's just
know?
exhausting.
I don't want to do it.
But I don't think you're broken, Bill.
I am broken.
Matt has a lot more reasons to be broken.
Listen,
We didn't go
broken.
We didn't go into why I'm broken today. We talked about Matt's broken. We don't need to.
Yeah.
Mine's just as sad.
Bill, look at me. You could be as happy as I am.
Mine's just
You
as
are
sad.
happy.
I honestly, I feel honestly.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop beating yourself up so much. You do stand
I
up comedy. You
had a lot of-
are brave to do stand up comedy. It's hard. It's something that a large majority of people can't do. So stop beating yourself up and start accepting some compliments. You're a wonderful boy, and we all love you.
You're a wonderful baby boy.
No, it's a paper
Thank
boy.
you,
Yeah.
thank you guys. I will accept it, and we'll move on.
Let's talk about me more. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's talk about Lee.
Let's talk more about Lee.
What
Give
am
me
I
more, Lee.
broken for? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I mean, a dead
Were your
parent.
parents
That's
were your
true.
parents home a lot?
So my dad was active duty military, so I don't really remember him that
So
much
no.
growing up. So no. And then me and my mom are really close. And then after she died,
How old are you?
I think I was like 20.
You're 20. So 6 years ago.
Yeah, about 6 years ago. But then after my mom died, me and my dad got really close because we're the same person. We're
Yeah.
both like super over dramatic and like crazy. So I think that's why growing up it was like
That's
too
weird
much.
though that you didn't see him much growing up.
No,
And
he was
then-
always like deployed or
But
something.
you're like the same type of person, and that's strange. How that like you'd think that would be a learned behavior, but
Yeah,
not.
that is weird. And growing up, I was like, oh, my dad's like so annoying and like just all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I am too. Like I'm so over dramatic.
Yep. No,
So I don't know.
I'm a good mix of my mom and dad. Like I get because I am pretty quiet when I want to be. And I get that from my dad because he was just like one of these people that like was really overly intelligent, like unbelievably so.
Yeah.
Like. So he knew everything. Like he was the smartest guy in most rooms.
That must be hard though, because you can't like relate or have a conversation with people.
He could, but it took some like it took coaxing to get him or he would watch and wait and then have
Yeah.
something to say, but he would never be the first one to say something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But my mom, on the other hand, is just fucking just
Firecracker.
just extra. You met her, she's
Yeah.
just extra, like all the fucking time.
Which I sometimes get jealous of that energy because
I don't have that energy.
No, I get so exhausted by people and like even so like I quote unquote like normal people who aren't like comedians, they like expect you to like bring the funny.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't be your personal fucking light all the time.
Honestly, I stopped hanging out with a few like groups of friends because it was like, oh, Bill's the comedian.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a person too.
And I'm just like, listen, motherfucker, I just came here to hang out. Like, I don't want to have to do yucks.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to fucking drink a beer and can we just hang out? Or, can we just do these mushrooms and like the funny will happen?
Can I just pretend I don't exist? I don't know. But I think like growing up, I was always like the chubby, funny girlfriend. Like like guys never really liked me. So then when I started doing comedy, it was weird for guys to be like, hey, what are you doing after? I'm like, why are you talking to me? Like I just never had that before. So it's like, it's weird.
You do have that very...
Oh, Leigh the ugly duckling.
No, you do
now she's this big, beautiful, funny swan.
You do have that comedic, like on stage, like.
Oh, I'm blushing. Stop. Guys, oh my goodness.
I love
like,
Leigh's crowd work most of all. Like when you start digging into people.
Oh, it's so funny.
I don't know why I do that. Or I really do like being aggressive to hot guys because they're so stupid. Like
You're aggressive to everybody.
Okay, well.
I had
It's
Leigh.
really fun to watch.
I had Leigh on an apartment show. At my old place.
Oh, yeah, I
at the
remember
old
that.
place at the old place in you were there.
Yeah.
It was the old place in Mesa. It was the Ty Rivera show.
I remember you being there.
He was there.
I didn't know
I
you
was
then.
Yeah, we didn't know each other very
And
well.
I was working for State Farm at the time, and one of like the team leaders of a different team that I wasn't on, but she was a manager. She had power over me. Shouldn't have been at a dirty comedy show where I'm smoking weed.
Yeah, in your apartment.
In my apartment.
You were
I'm
like
fucking-
naked. Oh yeah,
I was
I
pretty
walked
much
into your
naked,
like
yeah.
room and you had like no clothes on. You're like, guys, I just gotta get into my onesie. I'm like, what is happening
I
here?
had underwear on, okay? And I was putting the onesie on. It was I was doing a wardrobe change. I did a wardrobe change every comic we brought up.
So
I was
famous.
a great host. It's a
You were a
great
good
host.
host.
It was like my VMAs. Anyway,
That was a fun show.
she was sitting there, but the manager's sitting like right up front. She was the blonde chick. Do you remember her?
No, I black out on some.
So she's sitting. Because this woman, every time I see her, she mentions this. And you said something to her. I don't remember what it was, but she didn't respond. And you were just like, oh, well, all right, bitch.
Really?
Just, yeah.
Oh my God.
And you just called her right out for like being kind of a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you work with Bill? And like, and then I think she didn't respond. And you were just like, well, all right, bitch. Like, and
Jesus,
it
so aggressive.
It was very aggressive.
I do get aggressive. I don't know why I get so aggressive. Or like I had a show.
I get aggressive. It's fine. Be aggressive.
Have you ever? Yeah, I know. Have you ever had a show where like you like an early show you did really well and the next show like you bombed?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like it's so painful. But like this, I was like yelling at this couple, and eventually like kind of liked me. But if they're not laughing, I just like really try to make them uncomfortable.
That
Yeah, honestly.
was fantastic.
Yeah, same.
But I also I don't even know what I say half the time. Like people will come up to me like, "Oh, you said that." I'm like, "Did I? Like, what was I talking about?" Like, I have no idea. When I used to do improv, I had no idea what I was doing the whole time. But
Yeah.
I kind of could like pretend. I don't know. You guys, I'm just so talented that I don't even have to think about what I'm saying.
I mean, you're just a woman after my own heart because I'm the same way. Like, I black out shit I
Yeah.
say on stage. Like, if I don't record a set, like, it's just gone.
Oh, I don't record because I don't like listening to myself. I should
That's
I
hard.
should try.
I mean, it's hard. Like,
Ugh.
I
really
used to
hard.
record everything. I have a broken phone now, and I don't. But, like, there's, like, I laid out a bit that I've been, like, because I just kind of bullet point bits. And so I laid this bit out on stage where it just everything felt like it just fit together so well, and it just came out of my mouth the right way, and I was just like, "Fuck, that's gone."
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what the fuck how I did it where it just all fit.
Yeah, it's
and
so
like I
annoying.
aligned those thoughts in my mind.
like the energy's just right, and you're
I
just
hate
like,
it. I fucking hate. I wish my brain worked better. Like, I want these, like, people are worried about the singularity where you can get like freaking computer chips in your head and stuff. Like, no, I want that.
I
shit.
need
like,
it.
Fucking give it to
I
me.
forget
now.
everything.
I definitely need it.
Yeah.
Be so good.
All right, Leigh. Everybody, Leigh, you has a podcast. You have a
Somewhat. We're
podcast.
in a dormant phase,
You're in a
but
dormant
we're
phase.
going to rebirth soon.
There's a
you have
backlog.
episodes out there. You got episodes out there
Yeah.
for the people to listen to.
Get in there.
Get in there.
The drunk
lady
and
and the
the-
drunk.
Lady in the drunk. Ooh.
Available on iTunes.
We just matched. We just
Yeah.
synced right there.
Did you guys itch your eye at the same time?
We did.
Yeah.
We're best friends.
Jinx.
I did. I had real quick though. I think at Big Pine this year, I talked to you like more, and I was like, I really like this guy, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Not Bill though.
No, nobody likes Bill.
Nobody likes me.
I love Bill, and everyone loves Bill, but nobody actually likes Bill.
Very,
Well, everyone says- yeah.
very lovable, hard to like.
Everyone says this, but like, you come off like a mean at the beginning, or like
Yeah.
everyone says that, but it's
I met Bill the very first night that I did comedy. I walked into the Grid. Joe Jimmy is sitting there with Bill. I talked to Joe for a second because I know Joe. I introduced myself to Bill. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. Is everybody just this mean and fucking nasty?
you just like give nothing. We say that we can't give too much energy, but I was just like, okay.
I mean, you meet a lot of people.
No, I understand it now.
Oh, excuse me, Bill.
Like being around for a couple of years, I understand it. But
That's true. I always get worried that
so
like
I've been
Cunty.
like that my entire life, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like
Just a
I've been
real
real,
cunt.
I've been real prickly, like to people I first meet.
me
and it's
too.
just
I have a
kinda-
chip on my shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say?
I like everybody.
Yeah, you
it's
are
not
nice.
true. I don't
Do I
like
give off that I'm
everybody.
like rude? Sometimes I feel like I'm a little rude.
Yeah, you got a rude face.
Thank you. I feel good now.
You come across as like more no bullshit, which I think guys kind of get intimidated by. Like she's a bitch.
That's good because
but,
sometimes like these like not to go like women comics, but they're always like these guys like take advantage of me and I feel so like blah blah blah. I'm like I just don't talk to anyone. Like what do you talk
Yeah.
like? I don't know. Just gotta.
Just stop putting yourself out there for them. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Is like if you put yourself out there for people, then they'll do what they will. But if you kind of just with yourself let it be known who the fuck you are and that you don't deal
Yeah.
with bullshit, you don't get bullshit.
Oh, before I started comedy, I was obsessed with this guy I worked with, and oh my god, he did not want anything to do with me.
Yeah.
But we would like sleep together, and then he would like be so distant. But I somehow would like buy him food,
Oh.
and I'm just, so pathetic.
Oh.
It was so sad. But I was just like, dang, I just like kept giving and like nothing returned. But
That's a good lesson, though.
I
Like,
know.
see, that's the thing.
because I didn't date in high school, so I like didn't know how to
Yeah.
date, and I was like, guys take advantage of girls. I'm like, what are you talking about? It did happened. God damn it.
Definitely does. Vice versa happens too.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
All right, Leigh. We're gonna get out of here.
Social medias.
Where's
What's your
where you
social
at on
medias?
socials?
It's embarrassing. My handle is Leanage.
Leanage?
So like LEIGHNAGE.
Okay. And that's on everything?
Just Instagram.
Just Instagram? Are you a Twitter person?
no.
No twits?
I don't understand how to do
No
it.
twats. I mean tweets.
Oh, it's a lot of twats. but-
Lot of
Lot of
twats.
lot of
though.
twats.
There are actually a lot of twats on Twitter because porn stars can just post nudes, which that's the way everything should be.
Wow.
The more you know.
Yeah, more you know.
Boo, boo,
Leigh
boo,
Houck on
boo.
Facebook and as well podcast again.
The Lady and the
Lady
Drunk.
and the Drunk, iTunes,
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Cool.
Anything else you want to
Yeah, you got any shows
push? You
coming
got
up?
any?
I have a show in House of Comedy June 19th.
June 19th,
Perfect.
House of Comedy. Awesome. Are you coming out to San Diego?
Yes. May
Awesome.
17th.
Perfect.
I think.
Perfect. Matt and I will be out at the San Diego Comedy Festival,
Yeah.
so definitely come check that out.
Yeah, I'll
it'll
be
a great
performing.
fucking
We're gonna
time.
do the podcast.
We're gonna
both
do a
gonna
live
be
episode of Meat Sweats out
hosting.
there. We'll both be performing, so it'll be great.
We both be producing out there, so we'll be out there the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Leigh.
Thanks,
You're
Lee.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Meat Sweats, motherfucking Meat Sweats, Meat Sweats, yeah.